I went into Batman Ninja vs. Yakuza League expecting dumb fun, and honestly, I was ready to forgive a lot if it entertained me. Instead, I got a movie that somehow manages to be completely insane and kind of boring at the same time. That's honestly the biggest disappointment. A movie with Batman, Samurai, Yakuza versions of the Justice League, and a floating Japan should not leave me checking how much time is left. Before I get into it, like and follow if you're into movie reviews, where we actually say what we think. So the movie picks up after the first Batman Ninja. Batman comes back home only to find Japan has literally disappeared. The Justice League doesn't exist anymore, and a giant version of Japan is floating above Gotham while Yakuza are raining out of the sky. Batman heads into this alternate world where Superman, Flash, Wonder Woman, Green Lantern, and Aquaman have all become Yakuza bosses, and of course it's up to the Bat family to figure out what in the world happened. Now here's my biggest problem with this movie. It has one of the coolest ideas DC has had in years, but it never turns that idea into a great story. It keeps throwing weird concepts at you and hoping that's enough. After a while, it starts feeling like the movie is saying, look how crazy this is, instead of giving me a reason to actually care. There are definitely moments that worked. The character designs are awesome. Seeing Yakuza versions of Superman, Flash, Green Lantern, and Aquaman is a genuinely cool idea, and Wonder Woman's Yakuza counterpart, Diana, honestly ends up being one of the most interesting characters in the whole movie. She actually has values, a purpose, and feels like someone making real choices instead of just existing because the plot needs another fight. The animation is also really solid. Studio Kamikaze absolutely knows how to make action look stylish. There are some shots that look incredible, and whenever the movie just lets itself be visually ridiculous, it reminds you why the first Batman Ninja built such a fanbase. That then the story starts getting buried under its own nonsense. Ra's al Ghul's whole four-dimensional origami plan is one of those ideas that sounds clever until the movie keeps explaining it over and over. Every few minutes someone is talking about timelines, space-time fissures, engines, overlapping worlds, or another rule the audience suddenly has to remember. Instead of making the movie feel smarter, it just slows everything down. Real talk, this movie doesn't trust the audience to simply enjoy the madness. It keeps stopping to explain why the madness exists. Even the Yakuza League themselves feel underused. They look fantastic, but outside of a few fun fights, most of them don't leave much of an impression. Kuraku, the Superman counterpart, has a decent final confrontation with Batman, but everyone else feels more like boss battles than actual characters. Batman himself is Batman. He's still prepared for everything, because apparently this man has a contingency plan for every version of Superman across every timeline imaginable. It's entertaining at first, but eventually it starts feeling like every problem gets solved, because Batman already built the perfect gadget 5 minutes earlier, and then there's the humor. Some jokes actually landed. The running gag with Damian's ridiculous hairstyle got a few laughs. Joker's still chaotic enough to steal scenes whenever he shows up, and Harley Quinn brings some fun energy whenever the movie starts taking itself too seriously. But for every joke that worked, there were two that just completely killed the momentum. The biggest issue is pacing. The movie never really builds toward anything. It's just one bizarre idea after another, until eventually everything turns into another giant anime battle. Bigger isn't always better. Sometimes bigger just becomes noisier. This is the kind of movie where you'll constantly say, that's a cool idea. But you'll rarely say, that was a great scene. And that's the difference. Real talk. I don't think this movie is bad because it's weird. It's bad because it mistakes weirdness for storytelling. Being unpredictable isn't the same thing as being engaging. You can throw Batman, Yakuza, time travel, alternate realities, giant towers, and anime action into one movie. But if I don't care about what's happening, all that creativity starts feeling empty. So yeah, I'm giving Batman Ninja vs. Yakuza League a 5 out of 10. Not because it's unwatchable, it isn't. The animation is strong, the character designs are creative, and there are flashes of the movie it could have been. But underneath all the chaos is a story that never finds its footing. It feels like a collection of cool ideas searching for a movie instead of a movie that knows exactly what it wants to be. What did you think? Did the insanity work for you, or did it end up feeling like style over substance? Let me know. And if you like movie reviews that don't sound like a press release, make sure to follow for more.